So today I've been tasked with an uphill battle. Today we're gonna have to do something that I'm not even sure it can be done. We've been asked to make a Chevy run. I'm just having fun, guys. Chevy guys, don't get mad. Put your balls back in your wife's purse. It's fine. It's fine. Just funny, guys. Just funny. Don't get all upset. Don't get all mixed up. Gotta have fun with the Chevrolet guys. Just gotta have fun with them every once in a while. You know, just it's all in fun. So here's what we're doing today. This truck actually belongs to a freshly enlisted young man that's serving our country, and his truck has decided that it doesn't want to serve. So it's trying to go AWOL on him. We got to rein it back in. So the problem is this current 5.3 that's in here is, well, I have more oil pressure than it does. If you try real hard, you could probably get about 2 pounds of oil pressure out of it. So it's not that it doesn't have any, it's just that it almost doesn't have any. Still cranks up and runs, but the oil pressure is almost non-existent. And before anybody suggests that it's possibly a gauge issue, it's got a new instrument cluster in it because they thought it was a gauge issue. Before anybody says, well, it's probably the sensor, the sending unit out here on the engine, that's been replaced as well. Well, okay, well then, let's throw a Hail Mary in there here and say oil pump may be having issues. Yeah, we replaced the oil pump, even though there was no reason to replace the oil pump. We replaced the oil pump and it still has no oil pressure. But when we replaced the oil pump, when we replaced the oil pump, pretty well knew it was a wasted endeavor when we done it, because when I drained the oil out of it, there was metal in the oil. Little glittery gold pieces of badness was all up in it. And so it's pretty well eat the bearings in this motor for some unknown reason. So we're doing this just to help the young man out, and for no other reason. And we've got a new to us used 5.3 sitting there that was purchased from a scrap yard. Truck had, I have to go back and look now, 85,000 miles on it. Not terribly high mileage. Actually kind of probably low mileage in the LS world. Motor ran, motor had good oil pressure. We didn't hear any strange clunks, any strange bangs, rattles or anything like that. So it should be a good motor. It's definitely probably better than the one that's in here. So unfortunately, or the downside, not unfortunately, the downside is we've got a long block. So we're going to have to use his intakes, his coil packs, sensors, all that stuff off of this engine here, we're going to put onto this one, which is just going to add a little time to the job. Let's get started on it, and there will probably be things that will make LS guys that do LS stuff all the time beat their face into the screen, trying to scream at me and going, no, you don't have to do that. The approach that I'm going to take, since we're going to need everything off of here anyway, is I'm going to go ahead and strip this thing while it's sitting in the truck, just to make it easier on me and I don't tie up an engine stand doing it. So I'm going to pull the intake off, throttle body, the front pulley assembly, all this stuff is coming off. So basically this is just a long block sitting in the truck, and then pull the engine. That's the way I'm going to approach it, just because, again, I need to save all the stuff off of here. Like, for instance, one of the reasons I'm thinking about doing this is when this motor was pulled out of the junk vehicle, the oil pressure sending unit piece on the back of it got broken because it got banged up against the truck when it done it. Well, we don't want none of this stuff to get broken coming off here because we got to reuse it. So even if it does add a little time to the schedule, I'm going to strip everything off of here that we definitely know we're going to need, bag it and tag it. That way we know it's still good and didn't get damaged in the process of removing everything. So that's where we're going to go with it. And yeah, I guess there's nothing to it but to get in here and get after it. It's not like I'm just a diehard Ford guy. Just I like them all. You know what I mean? I'm just calm down. Calm down. Let's get to work. Remember, guys, bag and tag all your bolts when working on a Chevrolet. Because the last thing you want is to end up with a Chevy bolt on your Ford vehicle later, and then it won't run. You don't know why. I'm playing. All right, so let's take a better look at what we got. The owners of this, in order to make it a better truck over the time, they've put new coil packs on. I think there's some new injectors in it, some new sensors on it, which is one of the reasons why we're stripping everything off of this motor and putting it on top of our donor engine, just so all the new parts are on it. You can see here some of the new coils. I believe these are, I was going to say they're MSD, but I think they're MSD knockoffs. But we're going to change all that, and we're going to put all this stuff onto the donor engine there, and see if we can't spruce some of this stuff up a little better. Thingies and codes and sensor thingies, and you'll hear that a lot, and as we go on, because yeah. Now that the hood's out of the way, one of the first things I want to do is get my old fender savers out and throw on everything. No reason to beat up the paint on the fenders leaning over. I like to joke around and have a little fun, but at the end of the day, there's no reason to unnecessarily damage something just because you're being careless. These things right here really do help out. Better unhook this battery. This, even the clamps come apart on them. Jeez, come on, Chevy guys. So something I've noticed, and I haven't really paid any attention before, is it looks like there's a new throttle body on here as well. I can tell you the position sensor there is new and all. So yeah, it looks like there was some maintenance-y stuff going on here to try to keep this whole thing on the road. I guess the next thing I need to do is go ahead and dump the water out, or coolant out, and get the radiator and all out of the front of this thing. Early in the process to be stepping in this level of pterodactyl crap. So it does appear that in its past life somewhere, someone may have drained the coolant out of this radiator. And in that process, it may have happened that the drain plug, the petcock, was damaged, broken, something. And in that moment in time, the best solution was to epoxy over the entire hole so that future generations could no longer drain the fluid. So we're going to have to resort to just jerking the hose off of it. Now, I have strategically placed a pan under it so that every drop of water falls directly into the bucket. And I am not laying in antifreeze for the rest of the day working under this. Wow. Well, the color of that water looks more like I'm draining a septic tank. Now, before you get in here with your little pocket knife and cut these things off, there is a tool made for that. You get under this little head right here and you lift up. Once you lift up on that little head, and you can get under there, and it just slides right out. It's really not that difficult. I see more of these things just took and cut off or pried on with a screwdriver and broke off. There's no reason for it. They come out really, really simple. And of course, gotta have a wrench. Why wouldn't I? Well, I'll say, Chevrolet, you need to get your stuff together. Metric bolts and an American car just ain't right, man. It just ain't right. You need to get that figured out. I'm bringing you here. Let's take another look at what I got going on. So I've got the cover off, radiators out, belts off. Now I'm gonna start taking the front accessories off, coil packs, get the intake off. And basically the goal for the day is really getting it stripped down to a long block sitting here. Normally that's not that big a deal. And up here, it probably still won't. But down here, if you look at these bolts. That ain't right for a Southern truck. You'd almost think this truck come from Michigan or something. Look at all the rust on these bolts. Oh, Lord, please help me. Don't break none of these bolts off. Yeah. I remember the first time I ever worked on an LS, and yes, I have worked on them before, so let that soak in for just a minute. I'm not an LS guy, but I have worked on them. The first time I ever worked on one, first job I ever had to do was to pull a head off. So I'm taking every bolt on one loose, including taking all the coil packs off individually, because I didn't know you could take them all off together. Good times, right? So I learned how to do a lot of LS stuff from a very smart LS guy. So I have done the stuff before. It's just not my favorite thing to do. So I'm also noticing it appears there's exhaust bolts broke off over here, like somebody has been working on this motor before. Now, to my knowledge, nobody ever touched this motor before, but I'm gonna bring you in and show you what I'm talking about. I took this off and noticed it's one, two, it appears 3 exhaust bolts on this side of the motor is broken off. Yeah, how I didn't have an exhaust leak is beyond me. Jeez. Let me bring you over here and show you what I'm talking about. All right, I'm try to point them out. I think you can already see. Yeah, there's nothing. Zoom in a little bit. There's nothing there. That one there is gone. And there's another one. Let's see, that's, you can't see it, but that one right back there is missing as well. So there's 3 bolts broke off over here, huh? Let's go take a look at the other side. Let's see if the other side looks the same. Well, we really can't see in here just yet until we get everything out of the way. Yeah, I can't see in here just yet. Oh wait, I can see way back there at the back. Right, well, can't get the camera quite right. That one right there is missing. It's broke off as well. So somebody's obviously been in here before and been working on this thing, and they've had the exhaust off of it for some reason. You find things on them on a vehicle that makes you kind of scratch your head. This was supposed to be a vehicle that hasn't been touched before, and we're finding evidence that somebody else has monkeyed with it. Now, when I say somebody hasn't touched it before, I mean hasn't really been into it. I do understand the previous owner, or not the previous owner, the current owner. Sorry, I do understand the current owner has changed the coil packs, a new oil sending unit sensor, the throttle body. I know they've done some maintenance-y type stuff to it, but as far as actually digging down into it, this motor's not supposed to have ever been touched. So the fact that there's some exhaust bolts broke off kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit on that. So let's just keep going. See, guys, I don't mind telling you stories like the one about the coil where I learned something the hard way, because honestly, I'm not the greatest teacher. So if you learn something by me making a mistake, then it was worth the video. So I'll point out mistakes when I make it, at least if I know they're a mistake. Sometimes I do things just differently than other people do, and I don't consider them a mistake. But let's take a look at where we're at and what we're going to do next. Oil packs is off both sides, and I'm going to go ahead and take the alternator off just to get it out of the way. Unhook the fuel line. Unhook all the injectors, the wiring from all the injectors, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull this intake off and get it off and out of the way. That's a big chunk of just stuff that'll be out of the way. And at that point, then we can get the front accessories off and start working on getting the exhaust manifolds off so that we can get the motor out. I got a feeling, well, let me just say it this way. The reason I'm taking the alternator off first and then taking the intake off and then doing the front accessories and manifolds is because I fully expect, since I already see broken bolts, the manifolds and the front accessory to be an absolute pain to get off. So I'm just going to take the easy stuff off first and get it out of the way. That way, if the day gets away from me and we run out of daylight, or we're inside, so daylight doesn't matter, but if we run out of time for the day, then it gives me the opportunity to at least get something done. If I fought the hardest stuff first and fought it all day, and then the day come to an end, at least I didn't get nothing done that way. So at least this way I actually get to move the progress forward and get something done. Some people like to do the hard stuff first. Some like to do the easier stuff first. I prefer to do the easiest first and save the hard to last. Simply, again, just so at least, like today, I mean, we're already getting late in the day, so like today, before quitting time, I at least feel like I got something done. Just like to say, I don't think the GM employees that was doing the wiring on this and got paid by the hour. I think they got paid by the foot. Because for the 90s, there's a buttload of wiring in this thing. This ain't the 90s. What year is this truck? Oh wait, this truck may be like an 04. Scratch that, never mind. Perfectly acceptable to have this much wiring in. My bad. Well, now I know all the wires is out of all the bolts rather is out of that. Man, that what you call a good tight fit. That is hopefully not a sign of how hard things are going to be to come. Okay, so now we can actually get to all of our intake bolts. And so I need to unhook the fuel line and undo the wiring for the injectors. The plug is not pushed in all the way. Let's investigate that a little bit. So we got all the injectors unplugged, and this one here that I was a little worried about doesn't look as bad as I thought it did from the top. It honestly looked like the wires had been pulled loose out of it, but it's just sheathing around it here that is coming apart. So yeah, again, I don't mind admitting when I see the wrong thing. So yeah, it's all right. There are different injectors in this motor though, a couple of different ones. I don't know if there's a pressure difference. Maybe one of you LS guys know this, but some of these injectors here, which we understood when we started this project that they had swapped in a couple of injectors because they were having an injector issue. So instead of buying all new injectors, they just bought a couple. But most of these injectors, the top of them here where the plug goes in are black, but there's a couple of them here where the top that goes in are this reddish pink color. So here's my question to the true diehard LS guy. Pressure difference, meaning some of them, I don't know what standard is on LS, but let's say some of them 50 pounds per hour, or some of them 60 pounds per hour, 70 pounds per hour, and are they distinguished by the color of the plug? Because I see a mix of the black and the pinkish red in here where a couple of the injectors had been changed. So my question is there a difference in the pressure of those? And should we address that issue when we go back in with the replacement engine here? But you can put that down there in the little comments and let me know what you think. Until then, I'm going to press forward to getting this intake off, and we'll worry about that as we go back together with everything. So we've got all the bolts out of the intake, all the injectors are unplugged. We'll just slide this harness out of the way. We should be able to pick the intake up and slide it right out, in theory. I got to unhook this one line, this one vacuum line right here. And then, oops, this is already unhooked, fooled you. Got to unhook that one. So yeah, should be ready to try to wrestle it out of there. All right, now the question is, am I tall enough to reach in here to do this? Oh, I think I'm going to have to get me a little step ladder. persuasion. Oh, not quite tall enough to pick it up. Oh. All right, I'm gonna have to give me a little stool and climb over in there. Maybe not a stool, maybe just a chair so it can fold out from under me, flip me across the yard. Vacuum line here that is not unhooked. Oh man, what a mess. There's definitely stuff living down in there. Yeah, definitely stuff living down in there. Have you ever seen a vehicle that somebody was actually driving every day with this much crap? Man, there was a family of some kind of rodents living in there. But we served them their eviction notice. We know we're saving that for later, and I need to get these front accessories unhooked and off the engine and out of the way. And yeah, get that done today, we'll feel like we've accomplished something. They're just invaluable to have around the shop. And a good pulley remover kit, in puller and installer kit is always one of them for stuff like that. To take that pulley off, there's only one way to get it off and actually be able to salvage it when you're done. I mean, you could always take a torch and cut it off, but you need one of these sets like this. This goes around the end of that pulley. Now it goes in there and it just separates it and pulls it right off there. Simple as it can be to use and saves you so much time when trying to do something like this. Oh, whew. As suspected, rusty bolts ain't no joke. Woo. As you can see, we won the battle of the rusty bolts on this side. I just have to do them on that side over here. Or actually, I guess it's just a water pump now. So water pump doesn't look like it'll be too bad. What I want to do is get all this stuff off. So when I unhook the motor from the transmission, I've got tons of room to come forward and straight up and not have to battle, because back there. If I don't have a wrench fitted, then the answer would be no. well. Looks like we're making some progress. Making some progress. Have I mentioned how much of a bigger job this thing turned to be than what it should have been? Phew. You wouldn't think. I know. 2000, I think it's 2004. You think a truck this modern wouldn't have as much rusty crap to deal with as what I'm having to deal with, especially. Well, there's a lot of aluminum here. Why is it rusty? I don't know. So we got the stuff off the front, intake off. All I gotta do is get the exhaust manifolds off, get the AC pump out of the way. And there's a couple of sensors and wires back there that I have to unhook. A couple over here. Probably about 87 I don't know about or forgot about that I'll have to unhook. And then I can start unbolting it from the transmission. But it's getting late today, and I got some other things that I need to get accomplished. So I'm gonna pick this back up tomorrow, and it looks like I'll be working on it through the weekend. Yay, working a weekend again. So that I can get this took care of, because I'd really like for this thing to go home next week. Now, in all honesty, we got a race next weekend. Is it next weekend? No, I got 2 weeks. You know what? I don't know. I don't have a calendar out here. But anyway, I got to get this finished up so I can get the clutch rod issue straight in the Galaxy. And the Galaxy should be ready for the race. That's the only thing I got left to do, and that should be a fairly easy thing to straighten out. We'll see. But stay tuned for the conclusion of this LS swap. We've got a couple special touches that I'm going to do to it because, well, why not? And this is for a young man serving our country, so we're going to try to do everything we can to make this as good as possible. So y'all stay tuned for part 2 for the second half, and that should be getting the motor out and getting the new motor in. Honestly, the struggle and the whole thing is getting all the old stuff off of here that's been on here for 20 years or so, and getting all that taken care of. So yeah, y'all just stay tuned. Well, guys, I've been going since about 4 o'clock this morning on different projects, and it's about 5 in the evening now, and I'm spent and done for the day. But everything that happens gets caught on video. You won't miss anything. Everything I do or everything I don't do or anything that gets done, you get to see it all. You get to see everything as it is when it came in. You get to see everything as it is when it goes out. So this is going to be part 1 of 2-part video. Hopefully a 2-part video. So if this is a series you're interested in, keep your eye out for the second part. It should be out before the weekend for sure, because again, I would like for this thing to be running and driving at some point this weekend. Now, that may be a lofty goal, but I'm hoping for some point this weekend. There's a lot of stuff to do. And there's a lot of little things that I got to do too. So we'll see. But that's the goal, to have it out running and driving around this weekend, because we'd like to be able to put a few miles on it to make sure everything is okay and that it runs good, it drives good. This truck's headed to Colorado and it's going to drive out there, so need to make sure it's okay. Y'all, please hit the like, the subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications if you want to know about when I put up a video for these things. And remember, when we get to 500 subscribers, we are giving away a Summit gift card. So hopefully this is something that y'all enjoy. Seeing me wrench out here in the garage. Hopefully it is. If not, well, then I guess you didn't enjoy it. So I know I had a little fun ribbing on the Chevy guys today, but they're all right. I mean, I don't mind picking them up when their truck breaks down and giving them a ride. So y'all guys stay tuned. There's been a lot of work put into this truck, and hopefully this is the last thing that needs to be done to it. Lord willing. It's a good truck. Needs a bath. But I think I can handle that, giving it a bath before we send it out. It's almost a perfect truck. There's very minor little things that it needs. One of which is a bath. You can see that it's just gotten dirty from sitting out here. So it does need a bath. I was thinking I had seen a dent on it somewhere, but maybe I didn't. Maybe the body is in great shape. It's a really great truck for what it is. They put new headlights in and everything. I guess I didn't see a dent. There's one little crack in the windshield. I guess that's the only other thing left on the left to do to it. It's one little crack in the windshield, and looks like the rest of the truck is in killer shape. I could have swore I seen a dent on this truck somewhere, but maybe I didn't. None of that matters. I don't know. I'm just rambling now. Y'all hit the like, subscribe, stay tuned. Part 2 will be out hopefully tomorrow evening. Till then, I hope the Lord blesses you in everything you do. So we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, with a lot more progress than today. Hopefully. Maybe.